for today's topic. I will be starting the discussion regarding the, the different system controllers. So the performance analysis of proportional integral, and PID controllers. Okay, so good morning, students. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the topic that we will be discussing today is the introduction to the performance analysis of the control system controllers. It is the proportional controller, integral controller, differential controller, and the combination of them. Okay. Okay. So the last class, in the last lab class, I have just given a brief idea about the controller. Okay. So as you know that in a closed loop control system, when the feedback is there, okay, the feedback is there in order to control the output. Okay, because every closed loop control system has a feedback. If you are using an open loop control system, there is no feedback. So in the beginning of this particular subject, we have discussed that the basic difference between a open loop control system and a closed loop control system. So an example of open loop control system, if you can remember, suppose a toaster. So you're giving an input, okay, and you're switching it on, so it is getting heated and the bread is toasted. Okay. Now suppose if it is not having any mechanism that what amount of how much toast you want and how much crispiness or color of the toast you want, you will get any output. Okay, so that means you are not controlling the output. So it is an open loop system. So you are giving the electrical supply. The electrical supply is being supplied to the toaster. So toaster will operate and it will toast and will give you the toasted bread. But suppose you set a mechanism that as long as the bread is toasted and the color is means there are options for selecting the color of the toast and there are options for the temperature. Okay, then it becomes a closed loop system. That means when the toaster will be operating, so it will check whether the output which it has provided is matching with the desired input as set by the user, just like an AC. Okay, so in AC what happens? You switch it on, you set a temperature and it operates. So it is not like a fan, ceiling fan. You are switching it on, it is operating, it is rotating. If the voltage is low, the fan will rotate at a low speed. So it has nothing to do. So AC does not work like that. If you set a temperature in an AC, it will try to cool the room and reach the particular desired temperature. If it is not reaching the temperature, it will continue to do so. Okay. So that is the closed loop system. Now how it is able to do? Because there is a feedback. Okay, there is a feedback, as already discussed earlier, that the feedback is a transfer function, suppose Hs. So it is sensing the output. Okay, so it is a measuring unit. It is sensing the output and it will convert into equivalent signal and send it to the controller so that the controller can take action. Okay, so the controller will take action and accordingly the temperature of the room will be set. Okay, similar thing you can get for a heater also, because every electrical appliance, okay, every electrical appliance, or you can say every industry, whatever machinery is there, everything can be you can say represented in form of a control system with help of a block diagram. Okay, that you already know. that means if I once again draw the diagram, okay. Okay, so there are two blocks. One is the actual plant, okay, G1S, and this is the controller, okay, GCS controller. Transfer function is GCS, okay, and it is having a summation point. You are having an input, okay, there is an output, and there is a feedback. So suppose this is RS is entering the feedback, and it is measuring the output, okay, it is having a measurement unit, and it is converting into a equivalent signal, and this is, so accordingly an error signal will be created, which is equals to RS minus BS. This error signal will be sent to the controller. This is the controller, this one. The controller will make the necessary actions, and accordingly it will send a signal to the actual plant, okay. Okay, so now suppose this signal is AS, okay, the controller, whatever signal is there. Now this controller action, this controller can be of different types, okay. Just like in AC or a room heater, if I talk about a room heater, a controller may be like this, that it is operating in such a way that it is a on-off controller, okay. Suppose you are having a room heater, you want to maintain the temperature for room at say 20 degree, okay, in the winter, because outside the temperature is suppose 7 degrees and the room it is 12 degree or 13 degree, so it is quite cold, so you want to switch on the heater and you have set the temperature to 20 degree. So heater will operate, it will heat the room. Now as soon as it is reaching the 20 degree mark, okay, it will continue to heat, and as soon as it is exceeding 20 degree, suppose it is exceeding 21 degree, it will stop, okay, it will stop. Then once it stops, the room again cools down, okay, so the room will cool down. So that means you are setting the temperature to be 20 degrees Celsius. Now the heater is operating on position, so it is reaching 20 and then it is reaching 21 degree. So once it is 21 degree, what you are doing, you are switching it off. You are switching it off, okay. Once it is off, what happens, it again, room cools down, it reaches 20 degree, okay, and from 20 degree it again reaches 19 degree Celsius. So once it reaches 90 degree, the heater will sense that it has reached 90 degree, so an error signal will be generated, okay, because previously when it is 20 degree, okay, then it will operate and there is no error. When it is 21 degree, there is an error, so it will signal the controller to off, so it is an off signal, so control is off, okay. Now room is operating without the heater, okay, so because the room is already heated. So the room is already heated. Now what will happen, if the heater is switched off, then the room temperature will again fall down, it will again reach 20 degree, so it is okay, because the error signal is again 0 because it is 20 degree, but again it will slowly cool down and reach 19 degree, then there will be again an error signal. So now the controller will, now the error signal is an opposite sign, because previously when it was 20 degree, the error signal was 1 degree plus 1 degree. Now it is minus 1 degree. So the controller will take an action that will switch on. So it will go to on position once again. It will go to the on position. It will go to on position. So once it get on position, okay, it will again reach 20 degree. But the thing is, heater, when it is on, will the room start again reach 20 degree instantly? No, because the heater will take some time to operate. When it's taking some time to operate, the room temperature will again fall down to 18 degree, because the room heater is taking at least suppose 5 minutes time to heat. Okay, so it is not an electronic device. Okay, it may be electronic, but the mechanism is not that it is just creating a signal pulse. It is actually mechanically producing heat. Okay, so physically it is producing heat. So if it is producing heat, so it will take some time to operate. Suppose it is taking 5 minutes time to operate. So before it completely operates and starts heating the room, temperature falls down to again 18 degree. So the error signal is increasing. But since it is an on-off controller, only on and off signals are there. So it cannot do anything. So it will continue to on and it will reach 20 degree. So you can see there is some delay. Some delay is there. Okay. This can be seen in this particular case. You can see if you observe this. Suppose this is a bimagnetic thermostat heater. You see this is a this particular structure. Okay, this is a material. Okay, high expansivity material, and this is the low expansivity material. So it is made up of two materials. The outer cover is of high expansivity. That means it can expand. So the sensitivity towards expansion is more. So that is why it is called the high expansivity. It can expand more. And the inner one is having low expansivity material. So it is basically a bimetallic strip. So strip is made up of two different materials of having two different expansivity materials. Okay. This is a electrical connection. Okay. Now this is the temperature adjustment. That means there is a soft iron and a small magnet is there. So if it is on, so it will automatically get attracted. If it is on, it will get attracted. If it is off, it will get, again there is a spring, okay, restoring force, it will again switch off. Okay, so this is the operation of a bimetallic strip of a heater or a thermostat. Okay, so that means it will switch on. So while electrical supply, it is switching on, so it may take half a second, but half a second is added. So the delay is suppose half second, 0.5 seconds. So it is not that much major. Okay, because switching on is very instant. It is just switched on. Okay, because electrical connection is given, it is switching on half a second, but half a second is still quite more compared to an electronic device, and it is taking 5 minutes to operate. That means 300 seconds. 300.5 seconds it is taking to operate. So that is enough for temperature to fall down more. Okay, but once it is off, once it is getting off, then it will off automatically and the heater will stop. So stopping of the heater is very instant, but switching on of the heater is quite more. Okay. Okay, so if I explain this way, so that means suppose this is the case. So suppose this is the output from the controller. So whether it is on or off, this is the temperature. So controller switch point, that means once it is off, the temperature is 0. Once it is on, then the temperature starts increasing, but it does not increase instantly, because we are expecting that when you are switching off, it will reach the temperature 20 degree, but it does not happen. Rather, it operates like this. Okay, the temperature increases. If you plot the temperature on the y-axis, then time on the x-axis, the temperature will slowly increase. Slowly it will increase. Okay, so once it is on, it will increase. Okay, suppose this is set value. Suppose if I draw another line over here, this line, if I draw this line like this. Okay, suppose the normal temperature, because the room temperature is suppose 13 degree. Okay, room temperature is 13 degree and your set value is 20 degree. Now obviously if the the particular room heater, okay, is kept at switched off position, so the temperature inside the heater will be equal to the temperature of the room. So the room is 13 degree, that heater will also be 13 degree. Now when you are switching it on in the on position, you're switching it on, so it has started. So temperature will increase, it will increase, and it has reached the set value 20 degree. So once it is reached to set value, it will be off. So this duration is off. Okay. So now when it is off, still the heater is increasing the heat. Okay, because of the mechanism, because of the inertia mechanism, it is still increasing. So it has reached a value of suppose 23 degree. Okay. Then after that, it is again decreasing because there is some time lag taken by the mechanism to switch off. So now it is cooling down. So now it is cooled down. So now while cooling down, since it is switched off, it will cool down and it will continue to cool down, and it is cooling down. So it has reached below 20 degree. Suppose at 19.5 degree, the off heater, the heater has realized that it is under off position and the temperature is below the set value, so it will again start. It has again started. So once it is started, but still it will reduce. Why it is reduced? Because the mechanism taken by the heater to again start heating the room is quite more, because this duration is suppose 1 hour or 30 minutes. So for 30 minutes it was switched off and again it is on, so it cannot instantly get the set value. Okay, so what will happen? While it is starting or the heating process is on, it will take some time to heat the room. So while it is taking the time to heat the room temperature will decrease, and when it has become hot, the heater is now started to operate, then again the room temperature will increase and again it will reach to 20 degree, and when 20 degree is reached, again it is off. So once it is off, it will also start increasing because the heater is off, but the mechanism will continue for some seconds or some minute. That means there is a huge time delay, lag is there. Okay, so this on-off operation has a disadvantage that it takes a lot of time to, you can say, operate. Okay, takes a lot of time to operate. So this is the drawback of a on-off mechanism. Okay, so so that we were discussing. Okay, so that means the same thing has been represented in this particular pictorial representation or graphical representation. Okay, how it operates. Now in order to encounter this, okay, so what we can do? So modern techniques have been introduced where the continuous control action has been implemented. Continuous control. So the controller will operate in a continuous way. That means it will not have an on-off case. Just like as if that it is not on and off. That simple mechanism will not be there. Okay. So on-off has having the disadvantage. So we will have a continuous control. Okay. So there are 3 basic modes of control action. Okay, based on the continuous control. So one is called the proportional. Proportional is represented as the P, or we call it the P controller or the proportional controller. So what is a proportional controller? The proportional controller is a controller which produces a control action that is proportional to the error. Okay, that is the controller output KPE, with KP being the proportional gain. That means the output will be proportional to the error. That means if the heater is operating in such a way that even after off position it will start to increase, so it is having some error. Okay, so if I represent in the block diagram, so this is the error signal. Okay. So there will be the controller will produce a gain KP which is proportional to the error signal. So mode is the error, mode is the gain. So what will happen? The effect will be such a way that if the error is more, suppose you are using a particular instrument and your instrument is observed that suppose the Okay, so talking about the heater itself, suppose you are having a huge room. Okay, the room is huge. So now the heater is operating. So once the heater has reached the desired temperature of 20 degree, it will off. Okay, but still it will take some time to off, so there is a lag. Okay, now suppose in another room, same size, same heater, but in that room the number of people inside the room is more, and the number of times the door and windows are open is more, because in the room number 1 the door and window was never opened. Room number 2, the door and windows are opened, say suppose 10 times every hour, every 1 hour. So that means there is a huge disturbance. So huge disturbance means the heater will take more time to heat the room, because if you open the windows and doors, the cold weather or the heat will be gone away, because we know the heat transfers from the heat energy transfers from a hotter body to a colder body. So heat will dissipate, it will go away, and cold winds also do come in the winter. So it will take more time to heat the room. This is one disadvantage. So that means the error signal will be more. Okay, always. So if the difference in the error signal, okay, that means the error signal is more, then the controller will take more action so that faster it can operate. Okay, that means if the doors are opened frequently, suppose the heater is switched on and the heater has reached, suppose the set value is 20 degree, but it has reached suppose 18 degree. So there is an error of 2 degree. Okay, error of 2 degree. Okay, error of 2 degree. Now this error of 2 degree sufficient, so some signal will be sent by the controller, that KP, for increasing the, means to keep switch on. Okay, but if the doors and windows are opened so frequently, so that the instead of 80 degree, okay, the temperature suddenly fall to 16 degree. So in this case the error is 4 degree. So previously the controller action was KP1, now the controller action is KP2, where suppose this error, this is error 1 and this is error 2. Now since error 1 is less than error 2, hence, or you can say error 2 is greater than error 1, so KP1 will be less than KP2, or KP2 will be greater than KP1, so that the heater will operate in such a way that the time taken by the heater to reach from 18 degree to 20 degree is suppose 10 minutes. But if you don't have a proportional controller, if it does not have a proportional controller, then time taken to reach 20 degree will be suppose 15 minutes. Okay, it is not linear. Okay, so suppose linear, so it will take 20 minutes suppose. But if you are having a P controller, with the help of that, since proportional controller is there, so the proportional gain for the second error is more, so the what will happen, it will help to reach this temperature by same 10 minutes. That means even though the temperature is difference is more 4 degree, but still the time taken to reach the desired temperature will be 10 minutes. Why? Because the controller will give some signal to the plant that the temperature error is more, so we have to make more mechanisms so that the temperature room is heated faster. Okay, so it will operate like that. Now if the room temperature is suppose 19 degree, so the value of Kp will be Kp3, so it will be less than Kp1 also, so that it will take same 10 minutes to heat. Okay, so suppose you have set the timer that it should take not more than 10 minutes, so that is desirable as set by the manufacturer suppose. So that is why it is called the continuous. So in that case we will get this curve, but the disturbance will not affect this curve. Okay, the disturbance will not affect the curve. Okay, next is the derivative controller. So derivative controller produces a control action that is proportional to the rate at which the error is changing. So it is not dependent upon the error, it is dependent upon the rate of change of error. Okay, so proportional controller was just a controller which was producing some signal which is proportional to the error signal. So the error signal was more, the proportional controller signal was used to be more proportional. But for derivative controller, the derivative controller signal will be proportional to the rate of change of error. Okay, that is dE dt. So it will create a controller output of kd into dE dt. Kd is the derivative gain. So everywhere you will find a gain. So Kp was directly multiplied by E, error signal, and Kd gain is directly multiplied with the rate of change of error signal with respect to time, dE dt. Okay. So what is the difference? There is a major difference. So what is the application? Application is that there are many cases where you may require to install an electronic appliance, okay, or a machine where the rate of error is more. So in that case, the derivative controller is required. Okay. So depending upon the requirement, the different controllers are being installed or applied. Okay, so the third controller is the integral controller. So it produces a controls action that is proportional to the integral of the error E. That is, the control output, okay, there will be some gain, Ki, integral gain. The output will be gain multiplied by the integral of error signal, E dt. Okay, integration of E dt. Okay, so that means the error signal will be some gain multiplied by the integral of the error signal. So it is proportional to that integral of the error signal. So the integral of error with time is the total area under the error time graph up to the time constant, and thus we have a value even when the error is changed back to 0. So that means it is operating in such a way that the integral of the error, that means the error, it is not with changing with respect to time, rather it is integral. So it is adding up the cumulative error. So it is operating in such a way, it is adding up the cumulative error, and then the controller is operating such that the cumulative error can be minimized. Okay, so controller action can be taken. So now these three controllers can be installed individually, but generally integral controllers are not installed individually. Okay, derivative controller may be installed, but in most cases you will come to know, you will be seeing in the different applications that the proportional controller is often used, okay, solely. Okay, so you are using proportional controller as a single controller, okay, sole. Then you go for combination, that is we go for combination. Suppose we add proportional controller and derivative controller, so we call it PD controller. That means that controller will have the essence of both proportional and derivative control action. So where better control is required or faster control is required, in that case we go for the combinations. Then we also go for PI controller, proportional integral controller. Okay. Okay, so we go for the PI controller. Now, in many cases, you will see that in many critical systems where just combining two controllers will not help you. So in that case, we go for the combination of all the three. That is, we go for the PID controller. That means it will have the effect of all proportional, derivative, and integral control action. Now in the experiment also, there is a lab experiment, and MATLAB will show you the lab class. Just suppose you have a closed loop system and you want to, and there is some error in the system. Suppose you are giving an unit step input or a ramp or a parabola or impulse, whatever you are giving, you are getting some error signal. So what you do, you will apply this P controller. After applying the P controller, you will see that the error has minimized to some extent. And if you go for combinations, you will see that error has minimized faster and better, and you are getting better response. So from there you can understand that the PID controller, if you combine more and more controllers together, then you can get the better output, okay, better response, and the error will be minimized faster and in a better way. So that means always the PID controller, effect of PID controller will be more compared to PD controller or PI controller or even obviously P controller. So more you combine them, the better output you get, the better control action you get. So you may ask that why then we are not using PID controller for all the systems? Why we are using PD controller, PI controller, or often we will use P controller also? Because if you keep on adding more controllers, it becomes more complicated. The system becomes more complicated, and the manufacturing cost also increases. So if you are having a system which is not that complicated and the error is not that critical, and if the error can be minimized, or okay, using just P controller or PD controller or PI controller, then you no need to go for the PID controller. Well, yes, if you go for PID, you will get a slightly better output. But if the output of the action response is not significantly different, okay, compared to the PD controller or PI controller or P controller, so you will not go for the combinations. So you will avoid the combinations, okay, in order to avoid the cost, okay. So that is why different type of controllers and combinations are used as per the requirement. So you need to study all different type of combinations, okay. So we will be discussing that in the next lecture, okay. If you have any question, then you can ask. Any question, any query? Hello, any query?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so it is quite interesting, this controller part, okay. So control action and PID controller is quite interesting, and many questions do come from this, okay, because question means not only in the semester but also in the interviews, okay. Whenever you will be applying for any interview or sitting for an interview, and if it is a technical interview and it is for a core company, then if they are asking any question from control system, so they will obviously not go for Mason-Gate formula, okay, and that's block reduction, okay. Yes, they may ask the questions from stability, Nyquist plot, okay, and Root-Logos plot, but more emphasis will be given on this controller and compensator. So controller and compensator topics are very important, okay. So these are the actual application of the control. There is a power cut once again. Okay, so there was a power cut actually, so I got disconnected. Okay, so this is just the basic concept and introduction. Then we will continue our discussion in the next lecture, okay. Okay, so thank you students, so you may leave.